cake. You know I love cake. You know I love cake. And I'm talking about real cake, and I'm talking about cheesecake, okay? Cheesecake Factory. So this one, overall, somewhat newer position to the public count. It makes up a little less than 2% of the portfolio in total. In terms of cake, am I buying the stock, selling the stock? The answer is absolutely I'm buying the stock, okay? We're talking about a company that's trading at about 11 times this year's numbers, about 9 times next year's expected numbers. Dividend yield of 3.5% on this one. Between the Cheesecake brand, North Italia, what they're doing with Flower Child, and the rest of the FRC concepts, there's no doubt in my mind that cake's just a great long-term buy. It's a stock I plan on adding a lot of shares to over the next 6-12 months. Regardless if there was a recession, no recession, anything like that, it doesn't matter to me. I'll be a buyer of cake overall for the next 6-12 months. Absolutely love that one. Hedge play, and that is Toll Brothers. I do have some Toll Brothers put options here, okay? These are $75 strikes. They expire January of 2025. It makes up a little less than 1% of the portfolio here in regards to these toll puts. Now, in regards to these toll put options, right, making up 0.3% of the portfolio, the way I kind of think about this is housing's been red hot, new housing for years. It really has. The numbers have been tremendous for years. I am of the belief that we are actually overbuilt right now. And I am also of the belief that these home builder numbers would be horrible if interest rates weren't so high and people weren't just sitting on their homes. So at some point, something's going to break. Interest rates, the economy, I don't know, but something's going to break, and it's going to hurt a company like Toll Brothers in a very significant way. And inventory is going to go out there, and it's going to pile up, and next thing you know, prices will drop, and the market will correct, right? And so when I look at a Toll Brothers, I mean, we're talking about a company that's selling homes usually $1 million plus. I think if there's any sort of recession scenario, I think Toll Brothers is going to get hit very hard. And yeah, overall, I'm definitely not, I think there's a big risk to Toll Brothers. And the stock's been trading recently at about an all-time high, right around an all-time high here recently. So Toll Brothers, yeah, hedged on that one. Disney Spectrum clash leaves millions without ESPN access. A breakdown in negotiations could lead viewers to missing the U.S. Open Finals. Obviously, they have. And then missing, obviously, Monday Night Football, plus all the other, ESPN controls so many networks. It's ridiculous. Like, you have no clue until you really, care about sports a lot, and then you realize how many networks ESPN controls. It's insane, right? Now, here's where things are getting really interesting. Charter CEO isn't flinching in the $2.2 billion rumble with Disney and ESPN. Quote, "We've had to say enough is enough, or else we're going to have to move on to a different model." So this doesn't look like it's getting fixed anytime soon in regards to this Charter situation. We'll see where it all shakes out, but let's be very clear about this. The two most direct beneficiaries of this whole situation are YouTube TV and Fubo. Fubo's a bigger beneficiary, in my personal opinion, than YouTube TV is, but they're both huge beneficiaries. Now, where things get really interesting here is Spectrum arranges free Fubo trial for customers who want ESPN channels. This is fascinating. I mean, this was the best situation that could ever happen to Fubo. What are we talking about here? Charter has arranged, which, remember, I think, if I recall, they have about 14 million cable customers on there, okay? Charter has, and Fubo has a little over 1 million. So, I mean, this is just crazy, okay? Charter has arranged for an alternative for its customers who want access to ESPN, ABC, and other Disney-owned channels, Fubo. Spectrum has informed customers in the areas affected by lingering carriage disputes of a free trial with its preferred streaming partner, Fubo TV. I'm like, is Charter about to buy up Fubo, or like buy the whole company out, or like buy a bunch of the stock or something? Because I'm just like why would they go so out of their way to call Fubo a preferred streaming partner, all this stuff? Like, holy smokes, is this a perfect situation? You got to be kidding me. It has previously been reported that Spectrum has been directing disgruntled customers to Fubo, since Fubo offers only video and not the higher margin wireless or broadband services that Charter provides to its customers. Charter basically is happy to lose video customers to Fubo if it means keeping them for other more profitable services. Time is definitely of the essence for Spectrum customers. Without an alternative, they won't see the Bills and Jets, which is a huge Monday Night Football game, And probably the biggest Monday Night Football game, honestly, in years. I don't even remember. Monday Night Football usually, games are horrible. I don't remember a Monday Night Football game bigger than this in years. Like, literally, I can't even think of one bigger. You got one of the best teams in the league with one of the most legendary quarterbacks that just went from the Packers to the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. Like, it doesn't get bigger than that. That is the biggest. And it's opening weekend. Like, come on, man. It's the biggest game of the week. And so, what a fascinating situation it is. Now, this brings us to the CEO of the company, of Fubo, which is David Gandler, right? So David Gandler, obviously in regards to stock, it was super hot stock at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, like every other freaking growth stock. It was hot. Like, who wasn't hot? You know, if your stock price wasn't hot at the end of 2020 into the beginning of 2021, like, what were you doing? Because every stock was hot then, right? And then obviously, you know, stock has faltered in such a massive way. And while a lot of other companies have gone away, here we have David Gandler, the CEO of this company. All he's been doing is executing. The customers are going up, the revenue is going up, the losses are coming down, the company focus is in a better place, and then you see, most importantly, you see a deal like this with Spectrum, and it's like, how did he pull that off? How did this man pull that off? Of all the streaming companies out there, for, you know, him to have pulled that off, I think is pretty darn impressive. I will say that, okay? Where here we have Charter, Spectrum, whatever you want to call them, sending emails to millions of customers, 10 million plus customers potentially here, that they can go sign up for Fubo with this discounted link. That's crazy, man. Yeah, that's crazy. That's pretty darn impressive. And that's the type of stuff that smaller funds will look at, right? Because big funds aren't even going to look at something like a Fubo yet. It's too small a cap. The market cap's probably less than $1 billion in this company or so. They're not even going to consider Fubo. But the smaller guys that like to get in a little earlier stage here and say there might be some arbitrage here from 3 to 10, 3 to 30, something like that. Yeah, they're going to be very impressed by that. Very, very impressed by that. Now, the company has an investor conference coming up literally this week. I'm going to be very interested to hear what they have to say in regards to this whole situation. Because I can tell you this is probably the most interesting investor conference, in my personal opinion, of any public company. Because they're going to ask Gandler about this whole Charter situation, Spectrum, Disney. They're going to ask him about how these deals are going to be structured in the future. His views on the space. They're going to, ask him. I can almost guarantee you they're going to ask him about why the heck is Spectrum with 14 million customers or whatever emailing their customers that they can sign up for your service. Is this some sort of affiliate plan that they're going to make some money on the backside? Is this like what's going on there, right? So I'm really excited to hear that. That's going to be very intriguing. If you want to check out my free workshop I put together for you guys, that's going to be pinned comment down there. It's absolutely free to access that. How I find 10x stocks workshop should definitely help you out immensely. Much love as always, and have a great day.